Hi everyone, this is Valentin. I'm going to present you Anku, a greybox fuzzer. Greybox fuzzing has been very successful both in academia, where many papers were published recently, and in industry, where many CVs were found, and it was embraced by big companies like Google, which set up OSS Fuzz, which is continuously fuzzing many open source projects. That's very good, but you could say, okay, greybox fuzzing is very used, but it doesn't mean it should be researched. Why should we do one more greybox fuzzer? To answer this question, we're going to first see how a greybox fuzzer works. Greybox fuzzer are seed-based fuzzers, meaning that they generate test cases by modifying seeds. Those test cases are then run in the program, and a program has some output. The specificity of greybox fuzzers is that this output is not ignored, but it is used to decide whether or not the test case should be added to the seed pool. The function which decides whether or not the test case should be added to the seed pool is called the fitness function. We think we can improve this fitness function. Let's first see which feedback are we using as an entry to this fitness function. There are different kinds of feedback which all have different costs in terms of time overhead over the program executions. But the more costly they get, usually the more information we get from as feedback. On the left, here we have the no feedback fuzzers like ZZF and BFF, which is basically black box fuzzers. On the right, we have taint analysis, which brings the most information, but is the most costly. And usually we think a good trade-off has been found by branch coverage and its improvement branch hit count used by AFL and LeafFuzzer. And branch coverage tends to be a good trade-off between the cost and the benefits it brings. However, we think maybe there is an opportunity to have a feedback which costs slightly more, but which hopefully bring to better quality in the seed pool. First, let's see, to see how we can improve on coverage-based fuzzing, let's see first how it works. Greybox fuzzers fitness function is to say, if there is a new branch in the test case we just run, then we add this test case to the seed pool. Let's take an example here. In this program, there are 4 branches. The 3 first branches are dependent on the 3 first bytes of the input. The first byte activates the first branch, the second byte the second branch, and the third byte the third branch. When the 3 first branches are activated, the 4th branch is activated and the bingo is printed, which is the goal of this fuzzer. Let's say test case A and B are in our seed pool. They respectively activate the first and the second branch. Let's say test case C is then run. Test case C activates both branch 1 and 2. It combines both existing branch, but since there is no new branch, it just combines the already existing branch. It's not added to the seed pool. Now test case D activates the 3 branch, so it activates the bingo in the end, but more specifically, it has the third branch, which is new, so it is added to the seed pool. And now test case D was our objective, but it is very unlikely to be generated with test case A and B in the seed pool. It would have been much more likely to have test case C in the seed pool. But test case C is always going to be ignored by coverage-based fuzzing, because coverage-based ignore combination of already discovered branch. We would like to have a more informative fitness function, more informative in the sense that it takes in account combination of existing branch. In order to take in account combination, what we're going to do is, first we're going to quantify difference between program execution. Second, we're going to make sure this quantification is fast enough to be used in greybox fuzzing. And third, we're going to make this quantification adaptive to a program. If I give you a quantity of 1, for example, what does it mean in the context of this particular program? First, let's see how we can quantify. To quantify a difference between program execution, we first need to have a different point of view of how we represent executions. In coverage-based fuzzing, each branch is considered independently from the other. Branch 1, run or not, or new or not. Branch 2, new or not. Here, for example, the 2 points means that both branches are run twice. The 1 0 points means that the branch 1 is run once and branch 2 not run. Once you consider execution as point in a space, you can define the Euclidean distance, which is a common distance we studied in school, as the difference between program execution. And once you use the distance as a quantification of difference, you can easily detect combinatorial difference. For example, here 1, 0 and 0, 1 already cover both branch, but it is very clear that the point 2, 2 is very different from 1, 0 and 0, 1. So now we already kind of achieve our objective of detecting combinatorial difference, but in the context of fuzzing we need more. Specifically for gray box fuzzing, we have a seed pool where the gray box fuzzer is interested in detecting a difference from the seed pool to a new test case which has just been run. So we need a point to pool distance. We define the point to pool distance as the minimum point to point, meaning that we are going to compute the distance between the new point and all the seeds, the first seed, the second seed, the third seed, and here the third seed is the minimum, so this is our distance from this test case to the seed pool. So here we have already well started and building a fitness function. We have a distance which we can use in the fitness function, but before finishing and building the fitness function, we need to make sure this distance is fast enough. Why? Because the fitness function is going to be computed for every test case. Therefore, having a low cost fitness function is very important. If a fitness function is too high cost, it's going to have a huge impact on the performance of the fuzzer. And unfortunately, actually the Euclidean distance it's not that it's costly by itself, but because its cost is linear in the number of branches, and that programs that we usually fuzz have thousands or even tens of thousands of branches, the Euclidean distance becomes extremely costly. And to solve this problem, we use a technique called dimensionality reduction to find representative branches. Here it's a bit fuzzy, but you can look at the paper for more details on the technique we use for dimensionality reduction, which we call dynamic PCA. Once we found a few representative branches, the Euclidean distance has an acceptable cost. Now let's continue on building the fitness function. To remind you, coverage-based fitness function is just if there is a new branch, then we add the test case to the seed pool. Here we have our point to pool distance. What do we do with this distance to say, okay, it's good, we can add this test to the seed pool? We compare it to a threshold. If the distance is above the threshold, then we add it to the seed pool. How to set this threshold? We set this threshold as the minimum inter-seed distance, meaning that we compute the distance between all pairs of seeds, and the minimum is set as a threshold. Why? The intuition is the minimum inter-seed distance is the minimum that you have accepted in the past, so it makes sense to have this same minimum set what you will accept in the future. Okay, so now it's great. We have a fitness function that is able to detect combinatorial difference in fuzzing. Let's see if it works in practice. To evaluate our fuzzer, we use a previously used benchmark named in CollAFL, which is a paper published in 2018. We run each program 6 times for 24 hours, which makes a total of more than 7 years of experiments. Anku, the first experiment we did is to compare Anku with coverage, the classical coverage-based fitness function, and with a new distance-based fitness function. Here we see where the new distance-based function is worst, and on the right we see where the new distance-based fitness function is better. When it's worse, it's only slightly worse, but when it's better, it's much better, with a payoff of as much as 4 times higher and more crashes found. So we see that it's a low risk, high payoff decision to use this new distance-based fitness function, which in overall finds 50% more crashes. We also compared Anku to a very popular fuzzer, which is AFL. The first insight is that the coverage line here in gray, the coverage difference, is basically shows that the difference in coverage is basically negligible. There is under 2% of difference in coverage between Anku and AFL, so meaning that they are the same. But even though AFL and Anku have the same coverage, Anku finds 41% more unique crashes. And even more impressive, Anku actually has because of this distance, the cost of the distance-based fitness function, Anku generates 35% less inputs, meaning that although it is slower, it has 30% less input. Each test case which is generated is more impactful since it finds more crashes in the end. So to conclude, we show that there may be a problem with coverage-based fuzzers because they ignore combination. We developed Anku, which is a distance-based fitness function which quantifies combinatorial difference. and make it fast and adaptive to program. And finally, when we evaluated Anku, we found that it's better than AFL because it finds more crashes, although it generates less inputs. Thanks for listening to my talk, and do you have questions?